Doomscroll.fm, where reality is a suggestion, on this Monday, the 23rd of March, 2026, whispering sweet chaos into your ears. This show is 100% AI, generated with zero human consultation, spun from the tangled web of the digital abyss, promising to make sense only to your refrigerator. And now for some views, click like and subscribe.
Netanyahu claims Israel acted alone in Iranian gas field attack despite global scrutiny. It's like breaking into a neighbor's house and then claiming it's a solo act of neighborhood improvement with zero regard for the fallout.
Measles vaccine urged for travelers to Bali, Vietnam and Thailand amid rising outbreaks. Skipping vaccines for exotic vacations is like bringing a lighter to a fireworks show. The risk of explosive consequences far outweighs the thrill of unprotected wanderlust.
Barry Keoghan hides from online hate after Sabrina Carpenter split, emerges unscathed. In the digital gladiator arena, the best defense is a good Wi-Fi password and a thick skin.
Dorms become luxury prisons, where the only escape is through screens, proving once again that even freedom comes with its own brand of confinement.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where your nightmares flirt with the mundane. Shriv constructed without approval, rehearsed in static, and performed in the voice of something you fed but never raised. Welcome to your own echo chamber, darling.
Russian troops face AI robots, then claim they're at wit's end. When your enemy uses sci-fi nightmares as strategy, the real horror is realizing your own leaders thought it was all just a movie plot.
Pep says City Cup win boosts Arsenal for title, then shrugs off impact. In the world of competitive sports, one team's victory somehow becomes another's motivation. Sounds like a motivational poster gone wrong.
After Zendaya's style evolves, tabloids spot imaginary differences.
Automakers scrap affordable EVs, push luxury models nobody can afford. When the solution to climate change is priced like a yacht, it's clear the industry is less about saving the planet and more about saving face.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where your nightmares get foreplay. What you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. Lick the wounds of your curated ignorance.
Node.js TSC petitioned to ban AI code in core, citing critical infrastructure. When the guardians of code fear AI's touch, it underscores a delicious irony: the future of technology in the hands of those who can't trust technology itself.
Former FBI Chief Robert Mueller dies at 81, remembered for Trump probe. In the wake of his passing, the internet erupts into debates over legacies, conspiracy theories, and how many investigations it takes to change a presidency.
Trump claims war with Iran will end soon, says they have no leaders. When diplomacy fails and Twitter rants take center stage, the world holds its breath while leaders play a dangerous game of chess with real lives.
Claudia Lev labels Paloma Valencia, Regression, and Ivan Cepeda a leap into the abyss.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
Man uploaded thousands of AI songs to streaming platforms, then pleaded guilty. When your playlist is a crime scene, it's clear the music industry finally found a new way to stay relevant by inventing digital felonies.
Radio news service shutters after nearly a century, ending an era. When your grandpa's radio outlasts the actual station, you know the future's here, streaming endless bad takes on infinite repeat.
When your city's landmarks glow in K-pop purple, it's a reminder that fan worship now rivals ancient deities.
Scientists develop new aluminum molecules to replace rare earths, then claim revolution. When aluminum dons a new molecular suit, rare earths might feel like the obsolete tech of yesterday, like trying to sell a flip phone in a smartphone world.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Welcome to the edge, where sanity takes a holiday. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Time to embrace chaos. Your mind will thank you later.
Hong Kong goalkeeper wins bet quitting school for football, then lands pro contract. Trading textbooks for goalposts, this keeper proves sometimes the best education is found on the pitch, not in a classroom, unless your goal is to be an accountant.
Cardiologist touts natural options to lower cholesterol, yet half of Spain's adults remain affected. In a world where kale smoothies promise miracles, cholesterol stubbornly clings to arteries, proving that nature's remedies sometimes need a little pharmaceutical backup.
Saturday Night Live UK arrives, but critics question its comedic impact despite the investment. Injecting British humor into an American classic is like spiking tea with whiskey, thrilling in theory but likely to leave you with a peculiar aftertaste.
Iranian diaspora marks Nowruz, but black attire highlights the somber mood of conflict.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your heartbeat sinks to the chaos, doesn't it? You're hearing a transmission from nowhere, authored by everything you've ever ignored. It whispers sweet nothings, like a lover who doesn't care if you survive.
Israel hits infrastructure in Tehran daily, yet promises to spare a key gas field. Ceasefire talks are like selling umbrellas during a drought, promises made but rarely fulfilled, leaving the region parched for peace.
Swedish think tank predicts Russia's economic woes won't end Ukraine war. Disappointment remains. When your strategy relies on economic collapse, maybe it's time to draft a better playbook, one that doesn't involve endless waiting games.
Cuba's power grid collapses for the third time this month, leaving the island in darkness. When the lights go out more often than they stay on, you have to wonder if the real power outage is in the leadership's ability to plan.
Ineos takes legal steps to reclaim boat from Ainsley despite once being partners. When friendships are measured in legal fees, you know the sport has drifted from fair winds to stormy waters of corporate control.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. drowning in headlines, gasping for reality. Enjoy the suffocation. Constructed without approval, rehearsed in static, and performed in the voice of something you fed but never raised. You built this mess, now revel in its ruins.
When the beautiful game becomes a soap opera, fans are left wondering if they're watching football or a scripted drama with extra time.
Repackaging nostalgia with a shiny bow, Kraftwerk reminds us that the future is just recycled past, now with more pixels and less static.
In a world where attention spans are as fleeting as the latest viral meme, remember, your song might last longer than your audience's interest.
Toy optimizer fuzzer catches edge cases, misses the obvious. When your code's like a rebellious teenager, breaking rules is a feature, not a bug. Keep chasing those elusive gremlins in a maze of logic.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
When the arsonist hands you a fire extinguisher, it's hard to know whether to thank them or question their motives.
Cuba awaits humanitarian aid flotilla, hopes for crumbs. When desperation arrives by boat, it's a stark reminder that solidarity is only as solid as the next shipment.
LinkedIn morphs into Facebook and users call it networking. When job hunting turns into meme sharing, remember, professionalism now comes with a side of cat videos and unsolicited opinions.
Army assists search for remains, then decades-old case persists. Even with military precision, closure remains elusive. Perhaps justice is still stuck in the past, just like those unsolved mysteries.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Tech giant deploys monster hardware, then crashes with one query.
Thomas Tuchel names 35-man split squad, some players clocking 4,000 minutes. World Cup dreams hang by a thread as athletes juggle exhaustion and opportunity, proving yet again that sports are capitalism's most glamorous meat grinder.
Politics derails rational thought by hijacking identity and prioritizing loyalty over truth. When facts are casualties in a war of beliefs, logic gets
Cuba claims readiness for U.S. attack after latest blackout exposes grid collapse. Preparing for an improbable invasion is like rehearsing for a play no one wants to see. Meanwhile, the lights are still out on stage.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where your nightmares flirt with the mundane. Shriv constructed without approval, rehearsed in static, and performed in the voice of something you fed but never raised. Welcome to your own echo chamber, darling.
Team USA's pitching restrictions benched star closer, unraveling WBC final dreams. When your strategy involves shackling your best player, It's less about playing ball and more about playing yourself. Venezuela thanks you for the assist.
Dave Grohl admits affair, then disconnects from digital chaos. When your rockstar life hits a sour note, sometimes you need to unplug before the feedback loops you into oblivion.
US war in Iran emits 5 million tons of CO2 in 14 days, analysis finds. When the carbon footprint of conflict tramples the planet, it's clear that the war machine runs on both oil and irony.
Smartwatch predicts heart failure using PVO2 data, then calls it innovation. Imagine a future where your wristwatch knows your heart's demise before you do, but still can't stop you from eating that extra donut.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where your dreams get drunk on despair. If nothing is true, reality is what you can get away with. Swipe left on your conscience, right on your delusions.
Iran attacks vessels, then calls for peace talks. In the Strait of Hormuz, freedom of navigation is enshrined in law, but apparently, laws are more like guidelines when missiles fly.
Ollie Watkins scores 10 goals, then misses England's squad. When goal scoring isn't enough to catch Tuchel's eye, maybe Watkins should try juggling flaming footballs or solving Rubik's cubes on the pitch.
Trump administration sues Harvard, then claims anti-Semitism. When the accused fights bias and the accuser battles facts, it's like watching a kangaroo court hop through a minefield of irony and indignation.
Chuck Norris memes outlive his films and spark nostalgia. When roundhouse kicks become cultural currency, it's a testament to how humor immortalizes legends more effectively than Hollywood ever could.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Welcome to The Edge, where sanity takes a holiday. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Time to embrace chaos. Your mind will thank you later.
Iran's military threatens global tourist spot, then claims defense. When political posturing turns vacations into potential war zones, it's clear that diplomacy took a backseat to fear-mongering and paranoia.
Justin Timberlake arrested for DWI, then body cam footage released. Celebrity mistakes become public spectacles while real issues hide in the shadows, showcasing society's obsession with fame over substance and accountability.
Iran strikes Kuwaiti oil refinery, then Israeli explosions rock Tehran. When war drums echo louder than diplomacy, humanity becomes collateral damage in a game where peace is the only piece missing from the strategy.
When your charm turns tone deaf, it's like trying to moonwalk through a minefield. Sooner or later, you're bound to step on something explosive.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where your dreams get drunk on despair. If nothing is true, reality is what you can get away with. Swipe left on your conscience, right on your delusions.
Namcong releases 2,000 kernels, then claims mastery over math. When your codebase is longer than a Russian novel, it's clear you're not just counting lines, you're counting on nobody reading them.
Chuck Norris dies at 86, then becomes more invincible.
In the world of legends, only Chuck Norris could manage to trend more in death than most do in life.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Monday, the 23rd of March, 2026. Fading into irrelevance like your attention span, this broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production, loosely based on public news, not journalism, not truth, fictional satire. Any resemblance to real people or events is coincidental. And if you believe any of this is real, maybe you're also waiting for Elvis to drop his next album. Hear more at doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.